welcome everybody to my interview with Jan Malloch. My name is Gemma and I am originally from Barcelona. Then I met Jan through a common colleague of mine. We are all in a holistic world, so trying to helping people feel better. For me, the start is move better, feel better, be healthier, right? So we are using a holistic brand that helps us help people feel better and be healthier. So what I wanted to ask Jan, first of all, is my topic was how do we embrace changes in life, especially as we age, in the face of, the current world as we are living now. How do you adapt to changes? Are you somebody that changes put you off, or you just take them, by the horns and just try and do something with it? Or how does change affect your life, basically? So Jan has gone through many changes. And my question to her was first the background, then how was she introduced to our holistic brand, or how did she find the brand? And then how does her life look like with that brand in it? So okay. I'll let you explain, Jan.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, I must say that I've always, throughout my whole life, I've always sort of met various changes and challenges. I first of all started in, basically, in fact, I tell you what, I actually started as a stock control Clark S for Mercedes-Benz. Oh. And then, now this was when I was 22, 23. And this was well before computers or anything like that. So then I ended up working in a pub, and I managed a pub for a couple of years. Then I thought, let's get a more secure job, and I'll work in the civil service. So I worked in the civil service, and then I had my 2 children, which was great. But I was a stay-at-home mom for about 7 years. And that was just not my scene at all. What I did, certainly while I looked after my kids, was I started up a dressmaking business. So at least it gave me some sort of contact with the outside world, if you like. And then after my kids had started school, I went into human resources. And basically what I was doing was I was interviewing, candidates for particular jobs within this factory in which I worked. Now, the thing is, when I was in this factory, we actually built IBM computers. And I actually started building my own computers, and I got this real bug for building computers. And I decided, well, that was going to be my career. So that's what I became. I actually became a network engineer. Now, I was competing against 8 other guys who were they were 21, 22. I was 42 at the time, but I was the one who actually got the job. And I asked the manager, I said, why did I get the job, but you declined all these youngsters who had degrees in computing science and whatnot? And he said, do you know what, Jan? Anybody can learn the technical side of this job, but what we need is somebody to speak to the customers, understand what problems they have with their computers, show empathy, and ultimately fix their problems. So I thought, great, okay. So I did that for 10 years, right up until, 2008. And, but you know what? I got to the stage where I felt, I don't want to fix machines anymore. I wanted to change because I like change. As you can hear, obviously I've done a few careers, and I'm not going to stick around doing the same thing for my whole life, that's for sure. So there was one morning I woke up, and I'm very much into self-development, personal development. And on my bookshelf was one of Tony Robbins' books. And I thought, yes, that's what I'll do. I am going to become like Tony Robbins. Now, that meant I wanted to be a motivational speaker, and I also needed to learn as much about neuro-linguistic programming as I could. So what I did was I jacked in my job. I just resigned, never even consulted my husband. I just did it. And the next minute, what I did was I cashed in my pension, or part of my pension, not all of it. So that allowed me to actually do my hypnotherapy and NLP training course. So that was great. And I also went along to Toastmasters, and every week I went along and I gave a speech. And that gave me the confidence
Wow.
to speak in front of other people. And not only that, but also how to structure a talk and get your message across. So that was great, great. So now what I was doing was I was helping people with their minds. I was motivating people. But one thing I wasn't doing was dealing with their physical fitness. And I thought at this, my physical fitness wasn't all that great either, because let's face it, most of my jobs have always been, sitting down at a desk, taking your car to work and whatnot. And I really was never really interested in physical fitness at all. And then it was about 3 or 4 years ago, and I thought, Jan, pull up your socks and do something about your physical fitness. And I actually started to really enjoy this. And then I thought, another challenge is coming here. What I want to now be is I want to be a personal trainer, and I am going to focus on older women to help them become fitter. So what did I do? I qualified as a personal trainer, and that's what I've been doing now. So yes, I'm a personal trainer. Then what happened was, because my target group is older women, what I've been doing is I've been joining groups on Facebook who focus on an audience of older women. So I joined Gemma's group for a start. I then joined Anne Gerling's group, which is the Champions for Healthy Aging group.
Total, yes.
Brilliant. And then Anne got in contact with me and she said, oh, Jan, it seems quite fascinating, all the changes you made in your life and where you are now. I would love to interview you on my group. Great. And that's what I did. And of course, within a day or two, she's saying, would you be interested in Arbonne? Now, I had never heard of Arbonne before, but the more Anne told me about it, about these nutrition products, all about health and beauty, there's even a range for people doing sport. I thought, wow, this is an excellent complement to my personal training business. And I thought, yes, great, wonderful. And it also solved a huge issue for me because I hadn't really focused too much on the nutrition side of my personal training. But let's face it, if I get my clients to embark on the 30-day clean eating program, that will give them a huge kickstart in their fitness program. So, I can see that certainly in the future, obviously I'll be, promoting Arbonne, but I can also see it. I'm going to be doing online courses, which will also incorporate the 30-day clean eating plan in it. And people will buy it basically as a whole full program.
Yes. I can totally see the synergy. I also I am a yoga teacher as well as a personal trainer. And of course, the nutrition, we always say, nutrition is 80% of the well-being of a person, and exercise is 20. It's very important, but overall in the scheme of things, and I always put the example as instructors, colleague instructors, not so much personal trainers. I think personal trainers, we've got maybe some, but instructors normally eat really badly. I would say most of them eat very badly, and they use exercise, what I call, to redeem their sins,
Right.
so that they eat badly and then they exercise to offset the rubbish that they have been putting in. But to me, that's not, that is a conflicted type of lifestyle. It's very conflicted. Of course, you offset, kind of mechanically or numerically from the point of view of calories, and even though you cannot outrun the fork. So it reaches a point that, especially as we age, the more rubbish you eat, you would have to be on a hamster wheel, like literally all night, to burn what you've been eating all day. Then
and
to have night of sleep, yes, it is impossible.
I think people have to focus on food is a fuel, Now,
totally.
If we thought that we were going to go on a car journey, what we would be doing is putting petrol, diesel, gas, or whatever into the car first. Then
good quality, exactly.
Yes, because obviously your car can only take one type of fuel. You have to make sure it has that exact fuel. You have to make sure the radiator's got water in it. Everything has to be topped up to make sure it's going to give the best performance. Now, nobody would go on a long journey and then say, oh, I'm going to fill up with petrol now. No, that's silly. Fuel yourself for your exercise. Yes.
So totally. Or the maintenance of the car as well. That is actually an analogy that I always said to my personal training clients as well. It's like our body is the vehicle for life. If you wanted to go from here to Inverness, we are south, yes?
Yes.
I always said that. Actually, I said it that way. We were kind of down south, just above London, right? So if you want to go from here to Inverness, you want to make sure that you are ready and your car is not going to pack up in the following roundabout.
That's right.
Right? And that's for sure. You don't want to be stranded. And then, well, I wouldn't like to be stranded for starters, right? So I understand people don't want to be stranded, but then in they're very happy to keep putting patches to kind of hop. Now painkillers, now coffee. Oh, I'm feeling like this. Lack of sleep. Instead of sorting the sleep, you get little quick fixes, and over time that just depletes until over time the body says that's enough.
Yeah.
And that's what I have observed, not through experience, because I do come from a very healthy family background, but that's what I learned. And when I came across Arbonne as a holistic brand, I thought, wow, that is the key. What encapsulates my way of living, made easy, so that I can explain to people, and then the results that people get when I share that with them, it's just fascinating.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't suit everybody to start with, because it's a lot of mindset, but that's my personal development part as well. That's the challenge that I like to embrace as well. How can I convey something that is so good, and people may have preconceptions, to understand that is going to sort a lot of ailments and is a solution for a lot of problems, lifestyle related and even life fulfilling aims and goals, if they want to take it further.
This is the interesting thing, because one thing that people really do say is, they don't have enough energy. And instead of eating the proper nutrients, what they'll do is, they'll have a cup of coffee, or they'll have one of these energy drinks, which just doesn't work at all. But if your body receives the proper, amounts of protein, carbohydrate, fats, and you get enough sleep, and yes, you keep yourself active, well, that is helping against all this wear and tear. Again, talking about the car getting wear and tear,
totally
look after ourselves. Yes.
Totally. So I think that is, yes, pretty much what I wanted to cover myself, and hopefully inspire other people to either reflect on what is it that you're putting into your body, what is the fuel, and then are you getting enough of what you were just saying, enough sleep, how is your intake, your nutrition, and how is stress, and how do you operate in life, I would say.
Yes.
That will make you look forward to the following day or dread the following day. And you are somebody that is always kind of, I am that kind of, I've got that outlook too. I'd rather look forward to the following day rather than dread it. If not, I'd rather not be here at all.
The thing, Gemma, is that now that we are older, we've looked after our children. We've spent so much of our lives looking after others, and it's now time to focus on us. That's the important thing.
Yeah. I can see that, because how old are you now? 64.
64, yes.
So we are actually, what month were you born?
January.
Oh, okay. I was born March, but it's pretty much, so you were 1956, I guess.
Yes.
Because I am 1966.
Okay.
I am exactly 10 years later and a few months apart.
Yeah.
So that is, I am fascinated to just meet people like you. That just, it's also another thing I think that I wanted to pass on for people that have never heard of Arbonne, is the community that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you are a user, or whether you are a business partner, or you want that to blend into your business, or start it on its own. It's just the people that because I have not met you face to face. It's just
No, but you feel
virtual.
as if we know each other.
I cannot wait to see you face to face. You know, it's just like, and I think that's, I would say for people, if they are more open to changes, or even like you, look forward to changes. It feels like you were seeking changes.
That's right.
Right?
Yes, I mean, I'll show you. I mean, I've actually got something on my desk here. The thing is that I do a lot of, you know, sort of hobbies and whatnot. So I do dressmaking. Now I'm going to show you this photograph. Can you see
Okay.
that? You see that car?
Yes, I do. Yeah. Oh, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I didn't have 3 cars. I've only got 1 car. But I actually modified that all myself.
What, the car?
My car, yeah. So you'll see in the picture there, and you'll see, if you'd see all the flashes along the side of the car and whatnot, and I put
Yeah.
all on, and the back lights and all that, I put those all on, and I had so much fun with that. But again, the year before I started that, I didn't know I was going to be doing that the following year. You just don't know what's coming around the corner. And the thing is, Gemma, always be as positive as you can and look for these opportunities. You know, we're going to have a lot of problems in our life. And we might have a lot more problems as we get older, whether it's health or whatever. But start trying to think of, okay, how can I actually deal best with that? You know,
Totally.
what I've got, let's build up a great coping mechanism. Yeah.
Yes. I think that before we finish, because I think I was fascinated one time that we chatted offline, that you were brought up or born in New York or in Dubai, and then you are very global. I just
Yes.
wanted to know just a little bit more about your American and Scottish heritage.
My mother, she was from Scotland, and in 1952, she was one of these people who always sought challenges. Now, as I say, she was a secretary in Scotland, and she decided she was looking at the evening newspaper, and it said that they were looking for secretaries to work in Kuwait.
Oh my
Now,
God.
my mother at that time, she was what, 28, 29? And she thought, right, I'm going to apply. There's nothing to lose, you know.
Oh my God. I love it.
So
I love it.
she went over to Kuwait. And in the meantime, my father from the States, he's a geologist, and he went to work for the same company. So that's how they met.
I get goosebumps.
And the
It's
thing
crazy.
is, in those days, once you got married, the woman had to leave the company. She wasn't allowed to stay working. Yeah.
Right.
Now, so I was born in Kuwait, and then we traveled around the Middle East quite a bit. So we were in Lebanon, we were in Turkey, we were in Libya in North Africa. Beirut, various places. Of course, I don't remember any of these places because I was still a baby. And then it was decided when this was back in 1959, so I would have been about 3.5 or so. My parents decided they would just go back to the United States, so that's fine.
Right.
We lived in the States, and I had all my elementary schooling there. And then my parents did get divorced, and it was decided that my mum wanted to come back to Scotland, where her basically her sister lived. So I've in effect been in Scotland ever since. That's been 1966 I came back here. Although my sister, she went over to Austin, Texas, around 2000, and she's lived there ever since. And I would love to live in the States, but my husband says, no, it's all right to be on holiday there, but you don't want to live there.
Well, you've got kind of one foot here, one foot there, a little bit of aura from everywhere. But I can understand how you can be so open to things, and and embracing different. I think every time, and I've only changed, yes, 2 countries, 3 places probably, but every change I have made, it opens us. And the more you have to adapt, the more you have to be open. Or the more,
Yes,
yeah, the more you have to adapt, the more open you need to be.
that's
Because
right.
otherwise you're facing the current.
Yes.
And I cannot be the same person as I was back in Barcelona in you know, 2000, well, 1995, when I left to Madrid. And yeah, that makes us the people we are now. And
Exactly.
I wouldn't change it. Probably I would not have been talking to you if we had not been going through all these changes. But yeah, that's fantastic, Jan. I think, yeah, I'd love to chat about something else another time. Do invite me if you want to
Oh,
have
yes,
another.
I'm more than happy to, because obviously I would love to invite you to come onto my sort of page so that you can talk about your experiences, because, you know,
Sure,
obviously, I mean, I don't know, I tell you what, I don't know anything about yoga, you know, and it's just
sure.
these things, you know, but I would love to have you on, and that's what I'll do. I'll be sending an invite, and we can have a nice chat again. Yes.
That's lovely.